Sup team, welcome to the video. A bit overdue, but let's get into it. I couldn't find my whiteboard marker, so no whiteboard today. I'm going to do this with pen and paper. I'll probably put a couple of graphs on the side, this way, I'm not sure, in order to explain things a little bit better. So let's get into it. Establishing maintenance calories. So we've spoken about how you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat and a calorie surplus to gain muscle mass. Establishing the baseline, the maintenance calories, how do you figure it out? Now, when it comes to any calorie or macronutrient based meal plan or guidelines, you need to establish three things. You need to figure out what your TDEE is, that is your total daily energy expenditure. Okay, how many calories your body needs to burn within a day, how much energy your body uses to maintain your body weight. That is your TDEE, also known as maintenance calories. Right. Now, step number 2 is figuring out what your goal is. Do you want to lose body fat? In that case, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Do you want to gain muscle mass? In that case, you need a calorie surplus. So, you need to establish what your goal is. Step number 3 is where you figure out your macronutrient breakdown. How much of protein, carbs and fats is going to fit into your daily calorie intake. Right. Now, let's go back to step number 1, your TDEE. Basically, I'm going to do a quick drawing here. So, TDEE. This line over here is your total daily energy expenditure. Okay. This bit here, so I'll put up a better graph on the side, but it's roughly about 55 to 70%, let's say 60%. Is called your BMR. You've heard the word basal metabolic rate. BMR, this is the amount of energy that your body needs for its bodily functions. So, in essence, to keep your lights on. Things like to get your heart beating, to get your blood circulating, for you to breathe, for you to exist. Okay. So, it takes about roughly 60% of your total calorie intake. This bit here is going to be your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Okay, fidgeting, talking, me moving my hands right now. Say you wash the dishes, you sweep the garden, you pace around when you have to take a phone call. Everything that I just said is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Okay, non-exercise activity. Also, you have this bit here, which is the thermic effect of food. TEF. Thermic effect of food is this little bit here. That is how much energy or how many calories your body uses to break up down food. Okay, as we know, protein has the highest thermic effect of food, so go protein. Okay. Now, this little bit here is your exercise activity thermogenesis, EAT. This bit is your exercise, your gym sessions, whether you do bodybuilding, CrossFit, swimming, cardio, running, jumping up and down a million times, doesn't matter. Any exercise activity falls into this bit. Okay, so that is basically what comprises of your TDEE or your maintenance calories, the amount of calories your body needs within the day. Now, how do you establish this number? The best, by far the best way would be for someone to already track their calories. They know what's going on with their body, okay, and then they make adjustments. So, say for example, someone that's tracking their food, they know this many calories within the week. My body weight hasn't changed within the last 2 weeks. I'm roughly at my maintenance. So, in order to lose body fat, I'm going to take away some calories or increase my activity level. And the opposite for a calorie surplus. Right. So, by far the best ways is for someone to already track. Now, most of us and most beginners do not track calories. So, for somebody like that, how do they get started? Google an online calculator. Okay, there are plenty out there and some of them pretty good. Now, disclaimer, any calculator out there, any formula, no matter how good, no matter how popular, is only going to be an estimate. It's a predicted number, it's an estimate, it will change, it is not a set amount. Okay, at this particular moment right now, it will be a good number for you to start. Regardless, it may still not be the perfect number, but it's a good place to start. It gives you a baseline, it gives you a number to work with. All right, so plenty of good calculations and formulas out there made up by scientists. One that I like in particular is the Kac-Mokarthal method, that because I like it because it uses lean body mass instead of height, weight and body weight. All right, so the Mifflin St. John, I believe, is the most accurate, the closest that you can get. The Harris-Benedict is good, the revised Harris-Benedict by Rosa is good, the Mueller equation is there. So as you can see, there are plenty of good equations. Okay, I'll probably put one up here. Okay, so when you do the equation, pick anything, do the equation, you get yourself a number. That is your BMR. Okay, now that number, with most online calculators, what they do is that number is multiplied by an activity calculator, activity multiplier. Right? So it will give you an option to choose of somewhere between 1.25 to 1.7, right? So 1.25 being on the I wake up, I eat, I get in the car, go to work, finish work, get back in the car, come home, eat, sleep. So no activity at all. Okay, very less activity would be somewhere in 1.25 to maximum 1.3 to 1.7. That would be, say, an athlete or a personal trainer on the gym floor, or a sports personnel training morning, training in the evening, very high activity. Okay, so you fall somewhere in between. Most of us fall into moderate, so say 3 to 4 times a week you hit the gym, do a bit of activity, so somewhere in the middle. I will put a little graph on the side where you can see your activity level. Okay, what you do is you take your BMR and you multiply that by your activity level. Okay, then you get a number. This number becomes your estimated or your predicted maintenance calories, or your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. Right, now that we've found out what our TDEE or maintenance calories is, that is our baseline. Okay, in order to lose body fat, what do? We need to eat below this. All right, that is one crooked line. So in order to lose body fat, we need to be below this. In order to gain muscle mass, we need to be above this, right? Now, this is not a set amount. This will change. The only way you can monitor this is by monitoring your progress. Okay, get yourself a number. Be in a deficit of roughly between 300 to 500 calories is a good amount to start. Okay, so say you got yourself a number, your maintenance, you get below that 300 calories deficit or 500 calorie deficit. See what happens within 2 weeks. If you are losing body fat, you are in a deficit, good. If you are not losing any body fat, that number that the calculator spit out to you may not be accurate. So what do? Maybe reduce your calories a bit. Okay, no calculator will give you a perfect number. It's always an estimate. So it's trial and error. You got to put it into practice, monitor and adjust. Right? How do you figure out your macronutrient breakdown? How many? Okay, now I have my maintenance calories. I have a number. I'm gonna reduce that number by 500 calories or 300 calories to get into a deficit. Great. Now I have another number. How do I figure out how much of protein, carbs and fats I need? Protein, anywhere between 1.5 on the low end and 2.2 on the high end works. Okay, so step number 1, pick protein first. Right, we've already spoken about the benefits of protein, so pick that first. anywhere between 1.5 to 2.2 grams per kilo is a good place to start. Second, I would place fats second. Fats is essential, and most of us, as soon as we get into a deficit, we seem to cut out fats. We think we've demonized fat so much that we cut it out. Not good. You need to have your essential fats. So the best way by far to go about it is, now you have your protein, okay, you got your fats and carbs remaining. I would cycle these two. Okay, so fats being a very high calorie macronutrient, 9 calories per gram versus 4 calories per gram from carbs, the best way to do it would be to cycle these. So say training days, high carb, low fat, non-training days, low carb, high fat. So training days, you get a bit more carbs to fuel your workouts, to have a bit more energy. Non-training days, you're resting, you're recovering, you want your hormone levels optimal, so you have a higher fat. All right. Anywhere between 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound is a good place to start. Nothing below 0.3. Fats are essential. They are necessary for hormonal function, for good brain function, and to absorb nutrients. Okay, so fats are good. Fats are not the enemy. You need it. So proteins first, fats, then the leftover calories become your filler, carbohydrate, the fuel that you need. Okay, what you do is you reverse engineer. Okay, you have your protein, you have your fats, you've got some calories left for carbs. You divide this by 4 and you get how many carbs you need to have within that day. Okay, so sorted, you got your macronutrients down, you're good to go. Just to recap, TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. You can use a calculator. The most accurate way would be to track your food. Calculator is a good start. It's an estimate. It is a predicted amount. It will change. Good place to start. Pick one, anything that is recommended. Any formula will give you an estimate. Pick it. Go on a deficit of about 300 to 500. If you need to lose body fat, go on a surplus of about 300 to 500 to gain muscle mass. Get your number. That is your predicted maintenance calories. Break that down into protein, carbs, and fats. Protein is first, anywhere between 1.5 to 2.2 grams per kilo. Fats anywhere between 0.3 to 0.5 per pound. It's a good place to start. Filler, carbs. Hope this video helped. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you soon.